A new style of hat that we call camouflage because, and I know it's not the typical desert storm camouflage, but this is Michigan camouflage because we have so many maple trees and decorative trees. I just let the doggies out and I'm putting on my shoes and I want to show you, this is our creepy basement, but this is the farm. And these are some of our blister block hiking socks that I am wearing inside of my muck boots. These are just little ankle muck boots, just for wearing in the wet grass. And I am heading out today. And so we have two young studs that need a girlfriend to practice with. And then we have 4 studs that 2 are my main breeders, and then 2 are going to be main breeders in 2 years. But they're young enough, or excuse me, they're old enough that they can start figuring out the whole act of procreation. And I discovered the hard way. I put in a really expensive young stud last year that was supposedly ready for breeding, and he practiced for about 4 weeks before he figured it out, and I mistakenly pulled the ewes and they were not pregnant. So last spring we only had 13 babies, and that was 10 ewes that reproduced, and normally I expect 30 ewes to reproduce. This is Buddy Boy. Say hi, big boy. Buddy Boy. He's our goat stud, our Angora goat stud. And these are the ewes. And so what I'm gonna do is pick out the crossbred ewes, and they will go with the young boys. See that blue? That's Blue with her head through the fence, that little biatch. Ugh, she's always ruining my fences. It's my fault. Anyway, the crossbred ewes are going to go with the young studs, and then I will finish them up with George because we know that George will do the job. All of the purebred merino ewes are going with Bob. Bob is our guy that didn't figure it out until later in the season last year, but you should see him now. He's just massive. I'll show you a video of him, and he is so ready. And then, so the purebred highly fine, low micron ewes will go in with Bob, and that's about, out of 30 breeders, that's about 15 that will go with Bob. George is a old style merino with lots of wrinkles, and here we'll go through here and you can see the guys standing there. They are just pining for the girls, pining away. But George is an old style upstate New York merino that is our tried and true boy. He's going to be our finisher, which means anybody that didn't get covered by Bob will get covered by George. Hello, girlfriend. This is my darling. Look at her. She's got a little smirk on her face. Anyway, so that's what we're doing today. I'll take more pictures in a minute. Everybody's been bedding down and hanging, and we're putting them on a new area so they can eat it down. Hey girls, their coats are doing great. Nobody seems to have any diarrhea or anything that would be of concern that they need to be pre-treated. I'll take a look at their eyes. When I do the separating, I'll take a look at their eyes to see what the Femantia score, which is to see if they're low in iron. This is my little weather boy. And with that, we need to make sure we're not going into pregnancy with any. So here's her eyes. She's got good, nice red eyes. But we want to make sure we're going into pregnancy completely healthy and no problems, because I can't treat them in the first stages of pregnancy. This is Blue, Peggy, in your cowl, her stuff. And I can't treat them in the first stages of pregnancy for issues because quite often the medicine causes abortion. So, you know, right now I'm just looking at the girls. Like this one back there, that nose looks a little pale. I'll take a look at her eyes. This girl is overweight, and we unfortunately not unfortunately, it was a great fortune to have a beautiful growing year this summer for the pastures. So I have overweight sheep. This is Blueberry. Peggy, she's in your cowl too. This is Blue-Faced Leicester. And I have Teehee somewhere. Let's see where Teehee is. There she is. This is Teehee. She's a Teeswater cross with merino, and she's in your cowl. Anyway, the long story short, we are getting ready. November 15th is breeding day, and we're going to start flushing these ewes and giving them, I don't know, I'm going to have to talk to Dr. Earhart actually, because they're overweight. So normally you flush them and put on some extra weight for the breeding season, but they're already there because of this pasture. So I'm going to take some advice from MSU Extension and see what he says about flushing when you have overweight sheep, because they're so fortunate. So here, we're going to walk out to the new pasture. You can follow me. This is my viewing bench. They usually knock it over, and the squirrels have knocked down my that's Catherine standing on the birdhouse. The squirrels have knocked my birdhouses out of the trees. Sarah made those birdhouses for us, Rodney's daughter. Anyway, this is a fun time of year. Everybody's healthy. The pasture's lush and beautiful. We're going to have so many more months of forage. I put 900 bales of hay in the barn, and that is more than enough to get us through the season and through next spring when all the babies come. We have 30 ewes that should get pregnant, that I expect to get pregnant. And those 30 ewes will give us probably, maybe half will give us twins and the other half will give us singles. Come on through, girls. Come on. Come on, darlings. We have 3 young ones. These 2 little girls right here we're just weanlings. Look at that beautiful girl right there. She's just a stud. Our star girl, star ewe. You're pretty too, honey. All right, they're stopping because I'm stopping, so we'll just keep walking for a minute. Come on. Come on, girls. Come on. Come through. Come on through. Come on through. And another thing that I'm learning, this is all learning, every year, no matter how old you are, no matter what you do, you will learn something new. I have had a concern that my sheep were itching because of lice. And I learned that because of our rainy weather, there's a lot of moisture, and so they retain moisture in their wool, of course. Wool's super absorbent. And that can cause just a little bit of itching. And so I've been treating for bugs, and I don't have bugs. So when I see too much itching, what I need to do is bring them inside. But we've had, it's been beautiful. And we get some rain, but who cares about it? And then these are desert animals, so they obviously do care. But that's one of my lessons of learning. This is a bad tail. This is a good tail. Hello, girls. There's Catherine, a little darling bottle lamb. And this is Amazing Grace, whose hide was torn off and it grew back after lots of treatment. And she is giving us lambs. Yeah, and somebody's limping. We'll have to check her out. Probably needs to have a hoof trimmed. So this is a daily, the girls coming out here on pasture. And, come on, Catherine. And getting ready for breeding. So they have 2 weeks. All right, here's an example of a young stud. He's a yearling, and the hormones haven't kicked in yet. No big nose or anything. And this is Bob. Bob is 2.5. He'll be 3 next spring. And look at his nose. Look at the ducts underneath his eyes, where his hormones are coming out. Look at how he's so interested in the girls. And then this is Russell. Russell is 2.5 also, but of different breeding. And his nose is just massive. And this is Old George. Old George, these are all merinos. Old George is 8 this next spring. And he's so used to all this. He's an old boy that's been around the block, and he knows exactly what's coming up. And we have the girls getting fence line contact. It's a little early because they're not breeding until November 15th. But what happens is we bring these girls in for 6 weeks, October through November, and opening day of deer season in Michigan is November 15th. And they will go in with the studs. And we'll even give the yearling, Surprise is his name. We'll give him some practice. That's him right there. This little guy, the smaller one. He gets to practice with a ewe. And then we'll put a finishing stud in with the ewe after Surprise has had his go at it. And it's a beautiful evening here on the farm. Today is the 1st of October. This is my little bellwether here that has decided that he's going to hang out with me. Buddy boy. This is Catherine. She was a bottle baby 2 years ago. Yeah. Hi, Catherine. And this young one is this year's lamb. And she's decided that it's pretty cool hanging out with the sheep that are not afraid of me. And she was born on pasture. And I'll have to give her a name. And this is a GFV ewe. She's got Morehouse breeding from upstate New York. So she'll go in with Bob. And look at the sunset down there on the other side of the house. Pretty awesome. And here's the flock. We're just starting to get color here. You can see this tree up here is changing. And actually, I think that might be Virginia creeper that's climbed up through the trees. I'm not sure without going out there to look. And this is our maple. That will be a stunning orange, fire orange, in a couple weeks. And we just brought the girls in to bed down near the Great Pyrenees. And they just had their grain, just a little. They basically get not even an ounce of grain each. It's just something to make them run inside. And look at the sunset. Holy schmoly. So pretty. So everybody beds down here. And we still have mosquitoes.